Hi, my name is Susan Wolf. I'm the managing partner of the Payables Management Group based here in Phoenix, Arizona. And today I want to talk to you about how to make collection lawsuits go away. I want to first tell you a little bit about what the Payables Management Group does. We specialize in helping companies that are in crushing debt to take them to profitability. I'm going to tell you a few stories about some of the clients I've worked with so you can gain a better understanding if this is something that may be a benefit to you to help your problem payables and make your collection lawsuits go away. I first start by telling you about a contractor that I've worked with that came to my practice recently. It's a $50 million a year contractor. This contractor's been doing business for 45 years, and in 2007 they began to see the downturn in the economy. And unfortunately in 2007 they didn't downsize in time, and they did not address some of their pressing issues. Instead, my business owner decided that since he's weathered numerous other recessions, that what he would do is that he would take some personal assets and put it into the business, because that's what he's done all these years that he's had recessions in the past. So from 2007 to 2009, my client took $1.6 million of his own money and he dumped it into the business. In 2009, he began to see a small turnaround from the infusion of capital that he put back into the business, and he encouraged his father to help him with an additional infusion of capital of approximately $2.1 million, because that would take the company to what he thought would be the next level of profitability. Instead, in 2011, he began starting to have even more problems. He started to run up more debt with his creditors. He decided that he would borrow from his credit cards. He stopped making payments to his payroll tax liabilities. He stopped making his sales tax payments. He stopped making his property tax payments. Now, today, he's sitting on $1.7 million in payable debt. That's unsecured debt, $4 million in secured debt, and approximately $2.5 million in tax debt. The saddest part about this entire situation is this is a brilliant businessman who did not get help early. And I'm going to tell you the saddest part about this is that this week we are taking this company into a Chapter 7, and I'm taking the business owner into a Chapter 7, and it is likely that his father may be faced with personal bankruptcy himself. This is a business that's been around 45 years. It's very sad. And what I want to talk to you today is about how you can protect your assets and get help early. Because I can tell you, I do have clients that come to me early, and that's the secret to success. And I'll tell you about a furniture manufacturer who came to me early. He came to me early because he was referred to me by one of his buddies that had worked with my practice back in 2005. And fortunately, his buddy said, I'm going to tell you something. The best thing I can tell you is call Susan, because you know what? If you can get help early, you can turn your business around. And that's just what we did. So I sat down with him, met with him. I understood what was going on. He too had problems with taxes. He had problems with a lot of credit card debt. And he had a mounting amount of trade vendor debt. So what we did is we identified who his key creditors were in his business. And we began to call his creditors so we could create a platform, so that they could understand why he couldn't pay their bills, why he couldn't pay his bills. So the first thing I did is I called him up and I said, look, I'm really sorry, but we're in a financial situation right now, and what I need to do is to get my arms around this situation. I need to understand what's going on in this business, and I promise you that I'll be in contact and I'll communicate with you. Well, my client had slipped a little bit, and he started not contacting his creditors, and he started not communicating with them. So they were delighted that they just had someone to talk to. And that's what began creating that opportunity for us to create a situation that will work for both the creditor and my client, the debtor. So by just putting it at bay for just a little while, we kind of just took the pressure off the business owner. Now he's no longer dealing with creditor calls. Now he's no longer, having to worry about making his credit card payments. He's able to run his business. I mean, I can't tell you how relieved he was. Now, what do we do to create the voluntary workout? The first step is we have to identify some good lawyers to work with. And I've been in this business for 15 years, so I know how to identify those lawyers. I brought on a skilled bankruptcy lawyer because, even though we are in a cash flow problem, And so we have to recognize that bankruptcy counsel may be needed in this situation. And sometimes you have to put legal agreements together, and you need somebody to wrap up those legal agreements, whether it's a stipulated judgment, whether it's, just some of the legal language that will occur as you go through this process. So we got the good lawyer involved, and then what we did is, again, we went back to the creditors and we told them exactly what was going on in the business and why we needed a reduction in debt. We were able to successfully negotiate with these creditors to take 30 cents on the dollar, payable over 5 years. And the beauty of it is that this client has also been in business for a long time, and now his creditors can continue to do business with him, and he can continue to do business with them, and it's a win-win situation for both parties. You see, the first client I told you about, the contractor, he didn't do any of this soon enough, and so all of his creditors are now without a viable source to do their business. So when you look at, if you have financial problems, you can look at it as a win-win situation for both parties. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do, is to get help early. Because if you don't, you'll be just like the first contractor I talked to who didn't get help, and you end up dumping all of your personal assets in the business, and you have nothing left and no other option but to close your doors, file bankruptcy, knowing that there was a solution there. I hope you will give me a call to talk more about your situation. My phone number is 800-625-3039. My cell is 602-738-2094. And my web address is www.payablesmg.com. Call me anytime. I want to help you and get help early. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.